Hey, welcome to Keep On Growing, and this is where I answer your questions about my hydroponics. And the first one comes from Trey Murphy, and this was a comment he made on one of the videos. He said, I've been trying to grow Kratky, but my cucumbers are coming up all janked up. Is this a pH issue or the Fox Farm nutrients? And he says, I know you don't do pH. How? Okay, now, as far as all these other nutrients, and if you go and look, if you're going to experiment where you are and you're using different hydroponic nutrients, that's cool, but you're going to have to experiment with it. What you guys need to understand is that we're not using it for its intended purpose if you're growing like me. So I can only answer for what I know. And when I started out, I tried a lot of different things. And when I came upon the Master Blend 4-18-38, the tomato formula with the calcium nitrate and Epsom salt, that worked. And I grew a lot of stuff, and I did it over and over and over and over again. So I wasn't on social media. I wasn't showing people how to do things. This was just me growing for myself. So what do you do at home when you try something out and things aren't working and then something finally clicks? You stick with that, right? So that's what works for me. And I haven't tried a whole lot of other stuff. I know there's people who have used general hydroponics and say that works well. There's a lot of different nutrients out there. You're going to have to experiment with it, but just understand that we're not using it for its intended purpose. What they were developed for when they started doing hydroponics, and basically like commercial hydroponics, it's with the thought in mind that there's going to be aeration, there's going to be movement, there's going to be filtration. They might even have automatic meters in that reading the EC and pH levels and auto dosing the stuff and just slowly dripping it in. All of these things are with the intent that this is on these big massive systems. And even when it got down to the hobby size where people use them indoors, they're still thinking that you're modeling the big hydroponic systems. So when Dr. Kratky came up and said, all you have to do is get a container, put some nutrients in it, and put a plant in it, and you can grow some food. And what he did, his first experiment, if you guys aren't familiar, was he put a small lettuce plant into a gallon container with nutrient solution, and he grew a head of lettuce without having to do anything to it. And we're like, that's fantastic, So all that stuff that goes along with traditional gardening, all the heartaches and that, people who didn't have the time, energy, or money to put into a traditional garden, now all of a sudden they can find a container and put some nutrients in there and grow their own food. So basically that's what we're doing, and it was fine, everybody, if we just grew a head of lettuce, right? But now we're trying to develop that into other things and other vegetables, and just like how me and Keely grow the continuous harvest system, and she wants basil and kale and all these leafy greens and stuff that we use all the time, just all out there and going on a continuous basis. There's a lot of you out there that are growing tomatoes and peppers and watermelons and cucumbers and eggplants, and so we're taking this stuff that was developed for a certain type of system, and we're doing it without the aeration, without the pumps, and it's a little different. So if something works out, I can only speak for what works for me, and other than that, you're going to have to follow the manufacturer's directions. And he was asking about Fox Farm, and those are great nutrients and for their intended purpose, and I've heard a lot of people using them and a lot of people saying they have success in that, but they're using aeration and pumps and filtration and all of that too. So what I'm just trying to say, let's say he came back and he answered after I told him that, not so long of an answer. He said your answer was all I needed. Friday I'll buy some Master Blend. I had Fox Farm left over because I started in March. Yeah, okay, so he said he had some left over, so he just used it, and that's what I did in the beginning. I experimented with it, a lot of different stuff, and I don't like to waste stuff too, so I kept using them over and over until, I used them up. If I try something out, I won't just try once and then just get rid of it. So if you got it, try it, experiment with it, and that's why I like using microgreens. That would be another topic for another day. I'll come back. This is just the first of my Q&A. There's a lot more to say about nutrients and that, so I want to keep these kind of short for you. If you guys have any questions, leave them down below, and maybe I'll answer them tomorrow. Alrighty, Take care, live to inspire, keep on growing, be the change.